Welcome to another exciting episode of Howard's Opinion. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm glad you're tuning in today. We got a fantastic show lined up for you, packed with the latest sports news and analysis. Let's dive right into our first topic. Have you heard about the recent contract extension signed by San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy? The young QB has agreed to a whopping $265 million deal, making him one of the highest-paid players in the league. But is he worth it? I mean, think about it. Purdy has shown promise, no doubt about that. He's got a 4-2 career record in the playoffs, which is impressive. However, his regular season stats have been a bit inconsistent. In 2023, he threw for 4,280 yards and 31 touchdowns, but in 2024, those numbers dropped to 3,864 yards and 20 touchdowns. Now, I'm not saying Purdy isn't a talented player. He clearly is. But when you're paying someone $265 million, you expect elite performance every time they step onto the field. And let's be real, the 49ers are taking a bit of a risk here. They're committing a huge chunk of their salary cap to one player, which could limit their ability to surround him with top-notch talent. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, folks. Do you think Purdy is worth the investment? Can he lead the 49ers to a championship with this kind of pressure on his shoulders? We'll be exploring this topic further and discussing other exciting sports news, including the latest updates from the NFL, NBA, and MLB. So, stay tuned. And speaking of the NFL, have you seen the recent schedule release? There are some fascinating matchups lined up for the upcoming season. We'll be breaking down the top games and storylines, so you won't want to miss that. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment. Today, we're talking about a developing story in the world of Major League Baseball. The Minnesota Twins are riding high on an 11-game winning streak, but their success has been somewhat tempered by an injury to one of their key players. Shortstop Carlos Correa has been placed on the 7-day concussion injured list after colliding with center fielder Byron Buxton during a game against the Baltimore Orioles. The incident occurred when both players went for a shallow fly ball and banged heads, leaving Correa dazed and disoriented. He was removed from the game immediately, while Buxton was taken out the next inning as a precaution. Now, I know what you're thinking. Concussions are nothing to mess with, especially in a sport like baseball where collisions can happen at any moment. And with Correa's history of injuries, this is definitely a concern for the Twins. But it's worth noting that the team is being cautious and taking all necessary precautions to ensure Correa's safety. In the meantime, the Twins have called up infielder Ryan Fitzgerald from Triple-A St. Paul to fill the gap left by Correa's absence. And let me tell you, this guy has been tearing it up in the minors. 328 batting average, 4 home runs, and 21 RBIs in just 35 games. So, maybe this is an opportunity for him to showcase his skills at the major league level. The Twins will certainly be keeping their fingers crossed that Correa's injury isn't too severe and that he'll be back on the field soon. After all, they're in the midst of a hot streak and don't want anything to derail their momentum. But for now, it's wait and see, and hope that Correa makes a speedy recovery. And that's the latest from the world of baseball. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Speaking in his signature style, welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We've got a fantastic closing segment lined up for you today, as we dive into the exciting world of college baseball. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the big deal about college baseball? Well, let me tell you, this is where the future stars of the game are born, and the Big Ten Conference is no exception. The 2025 Big Ten baseball tournament is just around the corner, folks, and it's shaping up to be a real barn burner. With 12 teams competing in 4 three-team pods, The action is going to be fast-paced and intense. And let me tell you, these kids can play. From Iowa to Oregon, UCLA to USC, the talent on display is top-notch. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Howard, what about the format? How does this whole pod system work? Well, let me break it down for you. The teams will play each other in their respective pools, with the winner of each pool advancing to the semifinals. And then, of course, we've got the championship game on Sunday, May 25th. It's going to be a thrilling conclusion to what promises to be an unforgettable tournament. And you know what I love about college baseball, folks? The passion and energy of the fans. These kids are playing for their schools, for their pride, and for their futures. It's a level of competition that's hard to match, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out. So, if you're a fan of college baseball, or just looking for some exciting sports action, be sure to tune in to the Big Ten Network for all the games. And don't forget to check out the full schedule, including the bracket, game times, and TV channels. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts.